Smite Update Podcast is proudly sponsored by Tweaked Audio. Go to tweakedaudio.com for high performance, noise reducing earbuds. Use the code OctanePro to get 33% off plus free shipping anywhere in the world. Check out tweakedaudio.com today. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 31 of the Smite Update. My name is Octane Pro. And joining me this week, as always, is my co-host, Risty. Risty, how's it going, sir?
Not bad, not bad. When you was doing the promotion bit, I was sitting there going, surely you can pre-record that. Because actually, for anyone that doesn't know, he does actually say that every time, like, on the fly. He doesn't record it.
That's
It's
right.
just like, and I'm sitting here going, that sounds like a commercial. What's going on?
Hey, don't judge me, monkey. Don't judge me. Yes, it is in the show notes. So, like, there's a shared Google Doc that Risty and I use, and it's right there, right in the notes. I use the same thing for, like, Smite Talk, too, and I'm, like, putting that together, so. Anyways, folks, welcome to the Smite Update. It's been about 2 weeks since we've had an opportunity due to conflict of scheduling and just a lot going on. Risty and I have not had an opportunity to jump on and do another Smite Update. No worries, it's not going anywhere at this time. But in the meantime, I guess, Risty, it's been about 2 weeks. We've had an opportunity to play a Muzen Cobb. We've seen a little Hebo kind of rework on a graphical side as well. And we've seen some kind of balance adjustments on the gods. What are your thoughts so far? I mean, how's it felt for you? Have you played a lot of Smite recently?
Yeah, I've been, like I said, I've been mainly sticking to League majority of the time. Just trying to keep that one up. I'm actually in a stage now, which even if I left it like the last couple of weeks, that I was always going to get promoted. I'm like way up there. I was at like the highest rank I got was 147. Now I'm down to like 250, but I'm way up there in that 10%, so I'm well happy. But no, flying around and everything. I don't play too many casuals to see a Muzen Carp go up against a Muzen Carp too much, but Hebo looks kind of funky every time. He looks like he's got some like scaly claws that looks. Yeah. It's more. You look at him and go, surely he's just going to claw me to death at one point. But no, he doesn't.
Well, it's kind of cool that you actually have been playing a decent amount of League, because I don't play any League, and it's not because like I don't feel comfortable or anything like that. It's just that every time I play, I'm playing viewer games, doing 3v3s, assault, stuff like that. So I'm actually really happy that you've been playing a decent amount of League to be able to give a pretty good amount of insight with the League kind of gameplay and some of that stuff that you're playing. So pretty cool there. Before we jump into it, guys, I want to remind you guys, I actually want to go ahead and promote the audio version of this podcast. And I didn't realize like how decently sized that is. We have a lot of people checking out the audio version, which is on iTunes. You can go to iTunes and just look up Smite Update. It's right on there. So it's the audio-only version. So if you guys are trying to catch this on the train to work, you're driving to work, you're at the gym, you're on your way to school, you need something to listen to, you want to keep up to date with Smite, make sure you check it out on iTunes. It is also available on Android if you have some type of podcast app. I use BeyondPod, and I use that to go ahead and get all my podcasts. So go ahead and look it up on there. But my buddy of mine who's in podcasting as well, Garrett, who does the Angry Chicken podcast and then also Starcast and a few other ones, I was listening to one of his podcasts the other day, and they talked about how in iTunes, if I go ahead and look up the iTunes like info on Smite Update, it shows me the info for the U.S. Well, I completely forgot there's like other countries out there like that they have separate iTunes accounts, and so I went ahead and looked up the Great Britain one, and it's the exact same link just with GB instead of US. And there were 2 reviews over there that I actually didn't catch previously, so I want to go ahead and give those people the attention they deserve. So this person posted anonymously, and they gave us a 5-star review on iTunes and said, "This podcast is great. I can listen to it while I'm going to school. I would love to see more of the news that focuses on teams and players." 5-star review. So thank you very much, sir. And then also we had SK Connor that says, "Excellent podcast, fun to listen to and chill out, extremely informative, and must listen for any Smite newbie or dedicated fan. Great for anyone, even if you know only a little bit about Smite." So thank you very much to both of you guys for the 5-star reviews. I apologize for neglecting those, and I will be checking as many of the iTunes stores as possible, as this is available in every country that does have an iTunes store up. So pretty cool, huh, Risty, to be getting some more reviews there.
Well, yeah, it's like they've been there, but you didn't know they were there. I'm surprised they split it up like they did. Can't they just kind of like pull it all together.
Yeah, well, there isn't
I
a
don't know.
spot. There isn't a spot though
Apple's
because I
just
tried
weird.
to. Yeah, I tried to look and I was like, oh, is there like one central like bank of reviews and stuff like that on the podcast? Because I was trying to find it for Smite and for TheSmiteUpdate, and I wasn't able to find it at all. And so I actually literally had to go around trying to like put in the different country codes in order to find out. Okay, because I want to make sure if somebody has a comment that I definitely need to be paying attention to, it's available. But outside of that, go ahead.
Hopefully, you don't need to put every single country like denomination in to find out all the comments, because it's just like, no, I'm not doing that.
Well,
I'll do UK, US.
That's
There's
right.
loads of others,
I
but
got
it's the
UK.
problem.
That's right. I got the UK. I got the US. And then I'm going to start slowly looking at the Chinese one, but I may need to look into like the translator setup with like Google Chrome or something like that, so I can actually read it. But just as we're slowly starting to get into the Korean and Chinese market. Well, guys, let's go ahead and jump into our community news, and I'll let you take this first one, Risty, here, as I think there's a lot to talk about with this first community news comment.
Community news? You mean Erez Spoils? That should be the community news. Erez loves to spoil. Loves to spoil stuff. So, release date will be announced soon. So they're going to tell us when we're actually going to go live with Smite. That'll be a good one to actually see. They also talking about 100k tournament.
Yeah.
A lot of announcements soon. It's always very iffy stuff, this one.
It's so exciting, though. Like, those 2 points are, like, got me, like, so pumped. One, the release date is coming soon, and the 100k tournament. And then they say they think the dates will be announced next week. Which is pretty cool. And I'll have to ask you, though. Do you think the game's ready, or do you think the game's been ready for a long time?
How long have we been saying Smite's been ready for a long time now? We've been okay. We've not. Yeah. There's not anything in the game that I would say needs to change. I could honestly, if they said we're going live tomorrow, I'd be like, okay. Yeah. And there's nothing I'd be too worried about really. We're all pretty sound. There's not too many bugs. Everything's kind of balanced the way it is. Yeah. Few things, but yeah, no, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
So what are your speculations about this $100,000 tournament? I reckon. I have a few thoughts, but I'll let you go ahead and throw it out there first.
Well, I reckon it's going to be in the US. I reckon they'll ship everybody over there just because it's easier for bringing the players over than it is to do the or everything else. Even though if they took it over to Germany, they probably have the better production because they seem to have a good ESL. One. Yeah, they had a lot better at Gamescom than they did actually at PAX. So it'd be interesting to see where they actually do it.
Except Siege was pretty good though. Siege was probably their best quality yet.
Did see Siege?
Siege was amazing. Siege was amazing because it had its own like dedication there. So it was pretty dang good actually. The Siege, and I think they partnered with. Who did they say they partnered with? That it was like a local production company or something. But it was really good.
Siege, I couldn't find any information that tells me when the actual stream was on. It was just lacking on outside of. I was like, I'd look around for like 20 minutes, and I was like. Couldn't find anywhere to actually go, so I just went, oh, that'll do. I'm bored now. I'll carry on playing. So I didn't actually bother in the end. But no, I'd like to see that. 100k tournament, I'd love to see how many teams are going to go. I don't think there's many we can take out. And maybe we can get some, what is it? It's not Korean, it's the Chinese.
The Chinese market.
Yeah, I'd love to get some Chinese teams in there.
Yeah, I don't know. In all honesty, it's been kind of weird because literally, and I called this right away as soon as they talked about the Tencent and the Tencent portal and everything like that. There's a huge disconnect right now between the Smite community and then there's the Chinese market. Huge disconnect. I mean, we know nothing that's going on, what they're thinking of it, what their overall thoughts are on it at all. We don't know anything about the Chinese market, and so I don't think that we'll see any. I haven't even heard if there's any Chinese teams that have started up Smite yet. But I definitely think it's going to be an international tournament. I'm pretty positive it's going to be based in North America. Most likely, possibly like Atlanta or Georgia, I would think, just because of the resources are easily available for Hi-Rez, especially as the first.
Do you know where we want to do it? In the Hi-Rez studios. So it's literally plug it into a server there, bang, or take it to the server bank and plug it straight in.
Right.
That would be quality.
Yeah, I mean,
you got no problem with lag.
Yeah, I know there'll be a decent amount of EU teams invited and NA teams invited, and most likely they'll take some of the standings from their weekly tournaments, which I would think. I don't think they'll take anything from Gamescom or PAX, but I think they'll take it directly from the weekly tournaments and pick the teams. And my guess is it'll probably be 4 and 4. I think it'll be 4 North American teams and 4 EU teams that they and I don't have any like insight on this yet, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna probably be like 8 teams is my guess. I don't see them inviting any more than that because
16's a bit much, and obviously the skill level at that point, yeah, it's a bit much after that point.
Yeah, but I think
they can go off
the
team rankings, can't they? So like the top 4 team rankings.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be pretty cool. I was going to go to PAX East, but as soon as I saw this, I decided to not do PAX East, and I'm actually going to be starting to save my pennies and peanuts for the 100K tournament so I can go to that. So, yeah, it'd be pretty cool. And you know, I'm going to try, as more news comes out on that 100K tournament, we'll be bringing you guys more information. I definitely want to go there, and I'm definitely going to be looking into different possibilities that I can do from that event. If we could do a Smite update live from that event, and kind of bring you in from overseas, as I don't think you're going to fly over.
I was thinking I'd love to go, but if I ever went to America, like my girlfriend's never been abroad, so I'd have to take her. Okay, so there's 2 people I've got to pay for.
Yep.
And then if we're going over there, we might as well spend a little time while we're there.
That's right.
So everything just kind of escalates. You've got to make a real go at it. And
so either way, you're spending like 4,000 pounds.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, a good couple of grand just to go on holiday. So if they put it in like 6 months, maybe I could do it. But if they go like, right, January, done, shit.
So what is your thoughts on, they said a release date. Any idea for you? I'm not saying an exact date, but you think
I'm going to say what I want rather than what I think it's going to be because I have no idea. I'd like beginning summer.
Okay.
Very beginning of summer, end of spring.
My guess is Q2 of this upcoming year. So let's see, December, January, February. So March, April-ish. I think we'll see it right in there. To be honest, I think that it'll be. I think it'll be Q2. My guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I can see that.
It should be pretty cool. Outside of that, we had a bunch of other spoils. We don't need to go through all of them, but are there certain ones that stick out to you here? And I'll put the link in chat, guys, if you guys want.
DirectX 11. We're getting DirectX 11. Yes. Woo! Even though I don't really know what it's going to do too much, I just know DirectX 11's a good thing for us.
Yeah, it's definitely like a graphical side. Yep.
Yeah. No patch next week apparently, so there'll be no update next week.
Yeah, during Thanksgiving.
Let's be thinking of anything up. I want to see what this new Aegis is going to be. They say Aegis you can use while stunned, maybe? He's put the question mark, so it might not be it.
That's
it
really
saves the beads Aegis combo, doesn't it? Let's just go for it. So that'll be nice to see. So I'd like to see that. They've changed a bit. No, they've done that in the current patch, actually. Afro will get a buff next patch. When was this actually put out? 23rd. Oh, so it was yesterday. Yeah. Okay, so she must be getting another buff later on.
Yeah.
New soft system. Yeah.
Yep.
So, new god is a snake god. Has missed. Snake god has missed, apparently. And it's, how is it, Nuwa?
Yeah, I guess it's pronounced Nuwa. And I was just doing like a quick like Wikipedia search here. It says Nuwa it's another Chinese god, and I'm not surprised. And part of me wants to rage about it and be like, why? But at the other part, I'm like, I know why. Because the partnership with Tencent, they're trying to make it more appealing to the Chinese market. So it's all a marketing perspective. But either way, it's a Chinese mythology best known for creating mankind and repairing the wall of heaven. Depending on the source.
Crap shit.
Yeah, depending on the source, she might be considered the second or even the first Chinese ruler, with the most sources not putting her on the roll, but only her brother or husband. So that's kind of just a little quick overview of Nuwa, which is supposed to be this up-and-coming, some people are saying snake god for the Chinese type.
I'd love to know what kind of role it will be. But we'll see. Carly's getting a major overhaul by the looks of it.
Yeah.
It just says, Carly kit overhaul and has dash. Okay.
Yes, and I'm like dash. You mean you're like taking like sprint and building it into her kit, so it's kind of like her get out, her escape, pretty much. That's that's my thought.
Basically, that's what the game's come to. They've added so many leaps and dashes that everyone needs a leap and dash.
Yes. I will agree that I do not like that. I don't think Callie needs it. I think she's fine the way. And like, I didn't see that Callie needed it. A big deal now. I mean, I don't know. I didn't even think Callie needed a big overhaul. I mean, I thought her kit was okay. Did you think that Callie definitely needed this overhaul?
Well, they buffed her a little bit, and then she becomes so strong, and then they nerfed her a little bit, and then she become weak and come off. But it was like, she must be all right because clearly she's ripping us apart if they just change something ever so slightly.
Yeah.
But obviously they're going through overhauls now rather than new gods. It's overhauls more than anything else.
Yep. Well, they're doing that with a lot of the older gods, and we see them not only redo their kit, we also see them redo graphically as well.
Yeah. Well, it says here actually, Kali has every ability changed, I believe.
Wow.
And new artwork. So basically, it's going to be kind of a Sun Wukong, but change all the abilities as well. Actually, no, it is a Sun Wukong. Yeah, they're basically going to pull her out and put her back in later on. Is she going to be buff? Is she going to come out like a hench one again, just so we can go? Everyone that leaves goes to the gym.
Yeah, pretty much every god. That is true. They come back. I've been working on my steroids, taking my creatine, and going to the gym. Now I'm back releasing even bigger.
Yeah,
that's right.
There's nothing else to do when I'm not in fights. Let's just pump it up. So, Chang'e getting some nerf apparently.
Yeah, she's been really good recently. Every Chang'e I faced against has been just outstanding.
I don't think she was that strong lately. I've only seen her a couple of times in League, actually. They've not been too bad. There was a few times, at low level, where I just yeah, I'm not going to bother ganking her, because if you've got, a tanky solo laner and you're going in there as, I was doing it as Naja, so you don't have too much damage early on. You couldn't kill her. And with that AoE ability, she can just rip you down pretty well. So, yeah, I suppose maybe the early game was a bit strong. I'm not sure. 4 buff is coming in. Okay, mate. Only a tweak. I don't think it needs too much.
I feel like they added the Thor. They're going to be making the Thor buff in there because Thor used to be pretty potent. And then over time, we've just seen better AD carries, stronger, more more situational carries that are better to play. So you're not going to play Thor as much. Well, now I guess they're trying to put a little love back to Thor.
Well, it's who would you have, Thor or Mercury? Hands down, I know who I'm going with.
Oh, Mercury without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, that's purely what it is. So there's also a Mercury nerf. Please, no. He's fun. He's just so good.
Mercury is so strong. It is absurd, and you know it. Everybody knows it. That's why, when you go to the competitive level and look at the weekly tournaments, they're banning Mercury and Kronos as often as possible.
Oh, they ban him all the time now. Since John Quay got a nerf. Now it's constant Kronos Mercury ban in League as well now, and I'm like, oh man, I just want to play Merc, please.
Yeah, Mercury. Oh, I love Mercury.
Yeah, it sucks. For the next post, we've got basically Hi-Rez Todd actually from streamers BM to e-Sportsmanship. So it's basically a little kind of article going on about just where his kids play Smite. And as a parent,
it's pretty much reaching out there. It's pretty much reaching out there and letting letting the community know, hey, we're better than this. And he's speaking to players, he's speaking to streamers, casters, content providers, everything, and pretty much just saying hey, I feel like he's the ref coming in. He's I want a clean fight. I want no eye poking, no nothing, no jabbing under the belt or anything like that. Coming in. That's what I feel like he's coming in and saying. And I mean, a lot of it makes sense because there's been a lot of it recently, and there's been some complaints here and there about streamers being extremely BM and their rage is absurd and stuff like that, and it doesn't reflect positively on the community. So I think, Hi-Rez Todd, who's the COO of Hi-Rez, has pretty much just come out there and just been hey guys, let's make this a better community and more welcoming to new players type of deal.
Yeah. And then the final... Well, not actually the final one. It's like a new support article, how to deal with player harassment. You don't get it as much as you default in League, but you do get it from time to time. If you're on the losing team, it happens quite a lot. That's understandable and kind of bitch. But then you'll get in League actually a lot of times where you don't, when you gank their lane, or as a jungler, if you gank someone's lane but you don't get the kill, and then all of a sudden they're get me out of here, this jungle is crap. And it's I'm 7-1.
Yeah.
And what?
People have such high expectations, and I agree with you. And it's kind of one of those things where it's if you miss a gank or you mess up on a gank and you die, people rage about it and they expect perfection. And it's like, I'm sorry, but I can't expect perfection except anywhere out of the competitive level. Even in the league, it's like, come on now, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'll go a bit more into that in a minute. But what this is how to deal with player harassment. Literally, when I'm in there and someone starts going on, I am straight on that mute button. Because two reasons why you do that. One is because they're not going to stop. But I will say muted before I do it, just so they know that I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'll mute them. Then two things. You're obviously not going to start concentrating on them kind of. You're not going to concentrate giving it back to them and try and answer trying to explain yourself or anything like that. And also, it doesn't mess up your frame of mind. That's it, straight away. Cut it off, get rid of it, and then you're obviously not in a slump. Because if you're complaining at someone, they're not going to get any better because they're just getting hounded, and it's not going to get them go, right. Half the time, we know we're fucking up. We know what's wrong. We know where we messed up. Mm-hmm. We don't need someone else hailing on us all the time, especially it's like... when they're going, oh, this so-and-so's crap. But then later on I had a 4 in my last game went, this Neef's crap. It's going to be bottom damage. And I ended up being top damage at the end of the game. It was quite funny.
It's kind of one of those things, too. It is pretty sad that Hi-Rez has to put out this article. Like, Hi-Rez, the company, has to put out an article on how to deal with player harassment. And it's really sad that they have to deal with such bad manner. And those of you guys not familiar, like BM is bad manner. But it's sad that they have to kind of put this out there in their own community, and they're trying the best they can to police it. But it's a real shame that this has to come from Hi-Rez Duke, who's the community manager for Smite.
Yeah, it comes at it like that. But it's one of them ones. It's the way the MOBA kind of genre fits in. It's probably the few games that you'll ever play that if someone else is messing up, it makes it harder for you.
Yeah.
There's very few. Fair enough. Like FPS is okay, then you're outnumbered, but it's not like at least one-on-one fights you're still all right. But in one-on-one fights with someone that's fed, it's like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Oh no,
Up against
I
Hebo.
agree.
Yeah. So it's all right that way. So we'll just kind of let it go. And then there's on another one, we got a lovely picture of this Siege of Olympus, actually. Looks pretty cool. It's the first time I saw it. I was like, oh, I love all the rain of fire coming in. Yeah. It's brilliant. So for anyone that... he's going to put it out there and you can all check that one out. Looks pretty...
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? Like that somebody actually did this. Like, I'm like, wow. People got talent because I don't got that talent. That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, people got talent. It's like, yeah, I was first for some reason I went. Somebody got bored and wanted to draw something, but then yeah they got some talent.
Good to know.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on from there, guys. That was it. We just went over our quick community news section. We're now going to go ahead and jump into our esports update, and we did have the tournament today for the EU and yesterday for the NA scene. For the NA scene, we saw Team Dignitas taking first after a week or two maybe of not actually being top dog in the North American tournament, so they are back in first. We saw Exodus Esports second, Denial Esports third, and Cognitive Gaming NA in fourth. In the EU scene, we saw Mortality Esports take first, My Revenge EU take second, the Fanboys take third, and Cognitive Gaming EU take fourth. And you can actually check out all these results, guys, over at esports.smitegame.com. And I was actually talking to Risty before the show about not seeing SK Gaming in the tournament today. And those of you guys not familiar, last week SK Gaming was disqualified from the grand finals because of a prolonged amount of time that it was taking them to go ahead and get into the game and get it set up. And I don't know all the details. You'll have to look on Reddit, but from the information that I read, there was some technical difficulties with one of their players' headset, and so he had no audio. And they delayed it, and I don't know the exact amount of time. I think it might be 15 minutes, but I'm not sure the entire amount of time. They went past that time for setting up the game, and so they were disqualified for it. And that's part of the rules. You have X amount of time to get your game set up for when an admin says, okay, get started. I think it's like 15 minutes to get into that game and get it started to keep it moving. And so he didn't want to play because of the fact of his headset didn't work, is my understanding. And so last week, SK Gaming was disqualified from the grand finals. And at first they were not. And and if you're disqualified, you're not rewarded any points or any of the cash prize. And I guess Hi-Rez Bart came back last week and said, you know what, it's okay. We'll give you your points, we'll give you your prize, but you aren't going to have that opportunity to play for first. And then this week we didn't even see SK Gaming in the tournament at all. Any thoughts on that whole spiel, Risty?
I kind of dislike Sayo a little bit for the way he acts all the time. I thought when it first I did an interview with Sayo before with was it Nexus Esports that never actually went up. Actually, he put it up, but it was always a bit broken. But back then it was all right. But now he's like a big baby, kind of. I don't know how to put it. He just moans about anything. He's too. Right, let's put it this way. He's too public with his
emotions,
discretions. Yeah, there's things that you're like, right, this is wrong. Like the rules are kind of wrong, but yeah, instead of obviously dealing with Hi-Rez and going, come on, we need to kind of rationalize this, sort this out, and getting the competitive teams behind, and kind of think of it like a petition, getting the competitive teams behind you to then go to Hi-Rez. Instead, he'll go to Reddit, blast Hi-Rez and the admins on Reddit, look like a complete moron, and it ends up putting down the scene as well. So it's just like,
it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anybody to create drama and stuff like that.
No, so it's just like, well, why? He was moaning about the admins for what they were doing, but the admins are actually following the rules. And every time that we've ever had that bit of discretion, the admins have always followed the actual rule that's put. Which then they've realized, Bart's realized, all right, maybe that rule's a bit severe. Because even I kind of sat there and went, they did get to the finals. They should at least get the points up to the finals. So it's just one of them things, isn't it?
No, I could agree there, and it was very relevant when Hi-Rez Bart actually went ahead and posted the chat log between the admins and the teams, and the admins did everything right. They posted in there and kind of gave them the time, said, hey, we need to get this going. You have X amount of time, or you have to be disqualified, and it was just kind of one of those things. So
they gave them loads of time.
Oh my gosh, they gave me more time, yeah, because I remember watching the VODs of everything, and they went ahead and casted the third and fourth place match, actually, which they never do, instead of the grand final, while the whole spiel was going on, so it can get all ironed out. Yeah, but that was last week, and then this week SK didn't play at all, which I don't know if they just couldn't fill a roster, so they decided not to play.
Well, Sayo left, I think he left from what his last post was. He says, that's it, I'm leaving. SK, yeah. He literally in the post went, that's it, I'm leaving, goodbye. That's what I feel. What a baby.
Okay, I didn't know about that. You little drama queen. That's ridiculous.
Get it? Yeah.
Come on now.
That's right. That's kind of where I went.
We're not going to sit around here and wait for you to get your headset fixed in order to delay a tournament. Get your ass in gear and play your game. If you can't hear
it's the same with...
You still play it. Like, every single esports out there, there's always technical issues, and there is rules that state with all the technicalities in there. And to me, it's like, listen, if your stuff's not working right, that's no one's fault but yourself. Take the blame and move on.
Yeah, it's the same with any competitive sporting event. If you can't field a team, you're not going to play. So it's pretty much like that. Deal with it.
And I don't see SK Gaming having a hard time replacing him either. You know what I mean?
Well, he was the captain and probably the shot caller, but there's so many good bit of talent actually out there that it's not too much.
I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't a good player. I think he's a great player, very, very good at the game, excellent captain. But everybody could be easily replaced right now.
Oh yeah, we've got so many teams in the team swapping and stuff like that. So.
And it's a shame right now with that going on, with the international tournament probably going to be announced in the next week or two.
We'll be back.
SK Gaming, exactly, right? It's going to be like, oh, there's a tournament coming? Oh, I want to be back on the team, guys, because I want to go over to the U.S. and participate in the tournament. If I was SK Gaming, I'd be like, sorry, you're on the bench, buddy.
The first bit that I noticed about him moaning as well was moaning about the China tournament that's going to happen between...
Oh, you're talking about the show match going on at the carnival over in Shanghai and how SK Gaming didn't get invited, and he made a huge spiel about it on the forums and everything about, oh, we didn't get invited to it, blah, 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 blah. And Hi-Rez came back and was like, hey, Tencent said they want the winners of Gamescom and they want the winners of PAX to be the ones going over to the Shanghai show match. And it's not even a tournament. There's going to be the teams playing like Assault, the teams playing Arena, playing Conquest. It's not a tournament. And he made a big spiel about it. It was like, oh, well, the best competition won't be showed in the world because the best teams in the world won't be competing, blah, blah, blah.
But there's also another underlining thing about that is the fact that, fair enough, they've been winning the weeks up to it, but do you realise how long it takes to get the visas to get out there?
Oh,
that's
why
it was those teams were picked, because they were the ones that were winning at that time.
Oh, they knew months ago. They knew months ago anyway. They knew months ago like that they were going to be going, and the teams knew. It wasn't released, but the teams came out and was like, hey, we've known about this for months because we've had to be working to get everything set up to go to Shanghai.
Yeah. Oh, to get into China and all that stuff, the visa is a pain in the ass.
Oh,
it is. It's really weird. I don't know, but it's definitely a pain in the ass, because I used to work for a company that we had to go over there all the time for like machinery and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, that was funny. But yeah, no, it's not the sort of thing that they can go, oh, well, you've been winning the last couple of weeks, we'll take you instead.
Well, no, and the thing is, and I've seen this a lot in like the StarCraft 2 scene, and same thing with you, because you follow the StarCraft 2 scene, and I came over from StarCraft 2 into Smite, is that it is not just how good your team is, but it's also how your team comes off to the community. What type of image do you give the team? Because it's the name. You represent the team SK Gaming. And if you're one of those players that creates drama and problems time after time and quits and rejoins and says he wants to quit, and the next day wakes up and wants to come back in and blah, 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 blah. Teams are finally just going to be like, we're not interested. Like you're too much. And it reminds me of almost like Naniwa in the StarCraft 2 scene, like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Like a year or two ago where
he was funny.
He would tell admins live on stream that this is garbage and this tournament isn't good, blah blah blah, or all this like drama, and you'd create drama and stuff, and it was just I mean, it's news, but it's not good news. Like
Naniwa's kind of funny, because when the Koreans go up to him to shake his hand after he's lost, he won't shake their hand. It's like, come on, man, even the Koreans, like they're good sports. Yeah. If they lose, they'll shake your hand, but no, he wouldn't even look at him. It was like, really. Okay. Kind of funny, but kind of bad at the same time.
Oh, yeah, completely. Well, guys, let's go ahead and move on from our esports section, and we're going to jump into the patch notes. We have 2 weeks of patch notes to go over, and we're not going to go over every single change. We're just going to go over a few of the things that kind of stood out to us, significant changes to either a god or stuff like that. If there's a graphical, like a little tiny graphical change or a little stuff like that, we're not going to jump into it, but you can check out all of the full changes in detail over at smitegame.com. And so we're going to start off going over the patch that was on the 13th of November, and then also into the patch that was on the 20th, which was this past week. So starting out on the 13th, we did have the Hebo remodel, which you guys will see at one point or another up on stream here, one of the videos that is looping for us. So we saw a graphical kind of change on Hebo, and they also changed, I guess, the name Floodwaters to Atlas of the Yellow River. So I kind of throw it to you. What are your thoughts on the Hebo kind of graphical change?
I like it. As a lot of people I've spoke to don't like it. They prefer the old Hebo, which I can kind of understand. It didn't really seem too much of a problem, but you can see their more HD version that they want, that they're going for. Just extra bit of artwork, throwing stuff on there, and more Chinesey kind of stuff. But yeah, there was nothing wrong. I was alright with him the way it was before. The Hebo skin still looks the same, so that's cool. If they change that one, it'll be a bit weird. I don't think it'll work too much, but yeah, I kind of like him. Yeah, that's all I can really say. I like the skin. The scrolls on the back's a bit weird, but actually when it goes out, it's a lot more visible to see it's on the floor as well, especially in a fight and stuff like that. You can go, all right, there's a scroll under my foot. I better leave.
So I realized I didn't put all the details for who's going to handle what in the notes, so we'll just kind of go back and forth. We can just go back and forth on each thing.
Yeah, so we had some skins obviously added, the golden Sobek and Bakasura. Nobody needs Bakasura because Bakasura's crap. No, I hate him. Well, to be honest, you see him and he's either good or he's either bad. There was one where actually the Bakasura kept us in the game for a little bit just because of how much damage he was putting out. But yeah, it kind of falls off and then gets blown up. Bastet voice pack, which surprisingly was the only one on that patch. So They got a bit.
Yeah.
The voice actors got a bit lazy on that one. So,
Only one.
That's all.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's like, well, come on, you can at least do 2.
That's right. We also saw, which will actually go to the general section. I'll let you handle League since you've been playing a little bit of that.
I love
In the general section, the minimap is now semi-transparent. You can control the level of minimap opacity as well as the display of Fog of War on the minimap. So once again, guys, this has been around for about 2 weeks. We're going over both patches here, and yeah, it's kind of interesting playing with the minimap with like the transparency option and the different like sizes available with the transparency. Do you like it, or didn't even really phase you?
Didn't really phase me at all. To be honest, even when it was solid and there in your face, I didn't really care. I don't mind. I've still got it the same default size as well. It's massive. I still leave it there. I'm like, that'll do. I don't care. I see everything that's going on that map. I am happy. I do not need to know. If you realise you're missing stuff on the map because you're trying to just check out and it's small, you realise you've got it set wrong. Make it bigger.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
we also saw when you're dead viewing a teammate, your view will now automatically advance to the next viewable teammate. They made this change because kind of like in like Counter-Strike or other, I guess, type of first-person shooters, you have ghosting, which kind of comes into play. And this is what they saw, where if you died, you could then go ahead in your body, you'd be able to look around at your body, and you'd be able to say, oh, the opposite team is heading towards Fire Giant, or oh, they're heading towards Gold Fury. So they went ahead and kind of made some of these changes here so that wasn't available, which makes sense.
I'm surprised it took them so long to fix it.
Oh, yeah.
It's been for ages.
Yeah. Well, it's like the little stuff here that they're kind of just making little tweaks to. We also saw only 3 wards are allowed at any given time per player. The oldest ward will get destroyed, which is kind of cool that it goes ahead and clears that off. So like
I don't like it.
So if you put out 3 and then you go ahead and put out a 4th, it gets rid of your first one you put down.
I don't like that. Really?
Any reason specific?
Just because if I've spent the money on the ward, I want the ward. That's purely the reason it is. If I bought 6 wards, I've got 3 standard wards, 3 sentry wards. I put my 3 sentry wards where I want, obviously, like Fire Giant, Gold Fury, and stuff like that. But then I want to put one in their back jungle where they like movement speed or their damage buff and stuff like that. If I've spent the gold to have that ward and deny myself, like slow myself up on main items, I should be allowed to have that vision. That's kind of like my mentality on that one. I feel that is an unreasonable restriction.
Yeah, that's true.
Or unneeded restriction. Yeah.
I could see that. And let's take a look at the leagues.
So qualified players, the players that play at least 10 games in the league, has been removed from determining the top and bottom percentages. Now all players that play at least 1 game will be used. This was quite funny because when this change actually got put in, it went from you needed to have like 1,300 points down to 1,100 points or something like that. I was like, so I was like straight in the promotion bracket. So, but no, only qualified players get credit at the end of the season and participates. It's completely irrelevant and crap because, to be honest, if you're going to play league, you're going to play more than 10 matches. So, and anybody else doesn't really matter because they're at the bottom anyway. Added separated tracking for AFK and match lobby dodges.
Yeah, I could see that.
There is a penalty for that. So there is an additional
which there
penalty.
Very well should be.
Losses incurs. Players next win. So I think you end up losing some of your points. I've never done it myself, so I don't actually know exactly what happens. So no, it's like that. So it's a lot more. With everything done, you can see when you're going to promote, when you're not going to promote, and all that stuff. So just get your points up and just more people being allocated into it. Actually makes it easier for people to promote.
Yeah.
So to keep that one in mind. So.
Yeah, we also had some god changes here, and we had a whole bunch, but we're just going to go over kind of the ones that stuck out. So this is the first patch where we saw the nerf to a Muzen Cab we're talking about. And with a Muzen Cab, his hive was reduced, the speed bonus, 20 at the low, 40 at the high, now to 10 at the low and 30 at the high. They removed physical power scaling on the healing effect, and they also made some changes to the mana. They fixed an issue as well with the victims. Let's see, fixed an issue in which victims towards the edges of the targeters were not highlighted. They made changes to honey, which is a huge thing for a Muzen Cab. Increased the mana cost, 65 at the low, 85 at the high. Then on top of that, 75 at the low and 95 at the high. They added a 55-foot radius indicator to deploy the hives as well, with the honey combination, and they made some few adjustments. And then finally, over the past weekend, they fixed an issue where sometimes the cooldown would be drastically reduced when picking up the stinger. So I'm kind of going to throw a Musencab over to you. What is your experience with him, and do you think this first adjustment we saw on the 13th was necessary for a Musencab?
I think they hit him a little hard. And I say they hit him a little hard because he's not banned and no one picks him.
Yeah.
Especially in League. But no, there's a lot of stuff that hit pretty hard. Like, it may be just like little bits here and there, but it's just overall compounded and just kind of like destroyed him. I don't know. I haven't played him that much since they nerfed him. Unfortunately, it just kind of No, I haven't played casual, so I haven't played up against him. But nobody picks him in. Well, we didn't see him get picked up once in the tournaments. Not that I saw. Yeah. We didn't see him get picked up in League. So clearly, he's gone from completely stupidly strong to why bother now. So, what was it they were saying with Hive? No, Hive's all right.
Well, the thing is, and you brought this up in the past with Hi-Rez, like this time they made it like that. You had mentioned in the past, a lot of times when they want to nerf a god, they don't really focus on the underlying problem. They kind of focus on other things around it. Now with a Musencab, they pretty much they decided to go ahead and just nerf like everything. But I feel like the underlying issue with him is
it was the bees.
It's the bees. It's his passive, because his kit combos so well together that the bees are just too much. Like they need to scale that portion down, I feel like. And then everything else, and that will go ahead and affect everything on him. And I feel like they're afraid to make an adjustment to his passive because then it nerfs everything, you know?
Yeah, but they've nerfed everything anyway, so it's just like, why?
Yep.
So they probably just thought his highs were giving him too much of a buff. Fair enough. 40 movement speed was quite a bit, so they brought it down to 30. But they haven't changed the attack speed. The attack speed was probably the worst bit of it. The movement speed wasn't that bad. It's the attack speed that was the killer.
Sure.
Removed the scaling from the healing. To be honest, I'm not that fussed about that, really. Well, I obviously didn't notice what it was. But the healing was quite nice. But to be honest, after a little while, after the laning phase, you get Shin's Blades anyway. Or Shin Scythe. So you've already got your healing back from that anyway. Yeah, that's just about it. They changed. I'm just going to move straight on to Mercury because that's about it.
Sure.
Mercury's maximum velocity, the root immunity on his ability has been removed. Did it actually have a root immunity? No, I don't know. So Mercury will also no longer gain unintentional immunity to cripples and effect while active.
Correct.
I never actually noticed this as a problem anyway. There wasn't a few times.
Somebody did.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't working right, so they changed it. Several gods' abilities can now be placed inside of the walls. There's something. Was I playing a little bit earlier that doesn't work with that one? I think it was Agni's Rain of Fire. Still doesn't work. It says Agni Anubis. Yeah, because I was trying to drop. I think I was trying to drop a bomb on someone's head, but I couldn't do it because it was in a wall.
Because they're starting to make adjustments for everybody so that they could go ahead and use their abilities like half and half. So if you're casting an ability like over a wall and your targeter in the past, your targeter had to be perfectly in the center for it to work. Whereas now, your targeter could be like halfway in the jungle and halfway actually on the path, and it still does the effect.
Actually, I think it was like maybe it was half in, half out. It might have been because the center was in the wall, maybe. I don't know. Might have just been my bad targeting.
Oh, sure, it could be.
Agni, Anubis, Alquan, Cupid, Poseidon, and Ra was changed there.
Yeah, and we've seen that more and more. I think we saw additional of those selected as well in previous weeks. On top of that, guys, moving into this past week's patch, we saw the Vulcan rework that we did see going on there, and we did go ahead and see that Vulcan had some changes, new loadout card. First off the backfire. The backward dash movement on this device has been enabled. It will also now slide against angled walls and surfaces, which is kind of cool. His Inferno cannon, the tooltip now indicates that this turret takes 50% additional damage from non-god sources. On top of that, now he's had some changes here. He has a new number 3 for Vulcan, if you guys haven't noticed, and that is the Magma Bomb. And Vulcan returned to the workshop and re-engineered with a new gadget. His thumper.
Do you know why he returned to the workshop? Because he realised he was crap.
Pretty much. So now his Thumper V1, so that's his Thumper 16, has been replaced with the Magma Bomb. The Magma Bomb is a ground-targeting projectile that explodes on impact, damaging nearby enemies, dealing magical damage and stunning and knocking back enemies within an explosion radius. And then finally there, the Volcanic Override, and does pretty much the same thing with 30% increased here. All right, the bonus protection has been removed and replaced with a 30% damage reduction across all ranks. This ability now also grants CC immunity, which makes sense for an ultimate. So I kind of have to ask you, have you seen or played the new Vulcan?
I'll give it a go. It still feels around the same, to be honest. Even with all the changes, right? I've now got rid of a turret that can slow a whole area and be stupidly annoying to now a knock-up bomb that stuns a little bit. Fair enough, I can keep throwing it around every 10 seconds, so the cooldown on it's pretty cool. And it's not something that, oh, they've just killed my second 2 turrets, so I can't do anything. I feel it's more like a quick nuke than anything else. Like, quick drop it down, that's how it goes.
Quick burst of power, that's about it.
Yeah, so like you'd throw into a group of enemies, bang, done that. To be honest, in a team fight, I'd love to drop the actual other thumper down and slow everybody down.
Sure.
Could be anything. The knock-up, it's alright. It's not that powerful. I'd say it's Sobek knockback, but maybe slightly less.
Okay.
But damage isn't that high either.
Yeah, I actually have not, believe it or not, I have not played against, nor have I played against the Vulcan, but he was in a completely separate lane, and I was solo laning that game, so I never really ran into him until, like, later in the game. But I haven't really played as the new Vulcan. I'd like to, and I haven't played against the other Vulcan enough to comment on it. But it seems like the consensus I get from chat right now, looking on Twitch chat, and even just from what I've read from people, it's not really a huge improvement or change. I think they're really looking for something more. They're looking for a full kit kind of rework. So we'll kind of see what happens in the future weeks with Vulcan.
Well, he's using too much on his, like, I don't know, he's just not got a lot of CC for a tank.
Yeah.
For dropping that bomb, for every 10 seconds you get a 1 second stun. That's it. That's it. That's it. Like, even Erez has got more than that, and he's just a cripple. He's got a stupidly long cripple, but that's longer than a second. And then he can put the hurt. Fair enough. Okay, Vulcan can kind of put the hurt on sometimes, but you've got to go more damage than tank. So in a team fight, you suck a bit. But he's pretty much the same. So I wouldn't even kind of like contemplate that. My girlfriend's really happy apparently that her tweet that she put out got put up on the Red Bull thing.
Did it?
StarCraft 2. She got like an A4 bit of paper, wrote on it, and went, "Wait, look." She showed me this bit of paper.
That's awesome. So she tweeted out to Red Bull, and then it came up on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. That's pretty cool.
I'll have to watch
those of you guys aren't familiar, Risty's watching the StarCraft 2 Red Bull tournament. I've been catching a little bit of it this weekend as well. A lot going on there. But
I'll make them all jealous. My girlfriend's watching it.
That's right. So I want to comment on Skull King actually in chat said people underestimate the new Vulcan CC immunity on the ultimate. It's huge. People need to learn to use the bomb and confirm the damage. So that's a very good point. Very, very valid point. I'd like to play more with Vulcan as Vulcan to kind of confirm the new changes to him. And maybe I'll be able to give a little bit more next week after I play Vulcan a little bit more. But let's move on with some more stuff.
So we got golden skins again. Yep. We have Kronos, Erez, and Athena. The Erez golden skin tile looks pretty cool actually.
Yeah,
I quite like it.
It does. I agree.
Yeah. Hebo's voice pack's been updated.
Yep.
Really? When did they do that? I don't know. I didn't even.
It's a slight update. It's nothing amazing to write home
major.
about.
No.
Yep.
So the general rotation got changed. Has it been changed again? Oh no, I'm on the right patch.
Yep.
I was on the right patch. It was. I was like, is it the patch from before or this patch? So Cupid, Alquan, Thanatos, Sun Wukong, and Erez are on the 3 god rotation. A fixed issue in Assault where towers range did not align properly on the ground indicator, so probably got hit slightly outside.
Okay.
So that was about it. Stop. Hebo. No. There's added new loading screen frames to show league status. Now this, I was sitting there for a minute going, this brings up another thing as well. First of all, I was looking at it going, why is there no numbers coming up? For a little while, I was just trying to go, I was like, okay. So for the silver, to be honest, it looks more gold.
Does it really?
I haven't seen the gold one yet, but I was like, it's more like a goldish with a little hint of silver.
Okay.
That was a bit. I'll have to wait till I see the gold one, but that was it's a bit dubious at the minute. They've messed up with the gold skin tiles because I don't know who changed the text on it. Okay, whoever changed the font, the kills, deaths, and assists looks like Times New Roman. Yeah, it looks like Times New Roman or Arial or whatever that crap text is.
I mean,
literally.
I'm glad they're starting to take advantage of the loading screen. There's a lot of information they can add in there, and a lot of like medals and acolytes and stuff like that they can add in there to kind of show achievements. I mean that's something that they could start to add into that. I don't know if that's something we'll see before the game launches, but definitely, in the future, I'd love to see the loading screen be more of like a bragging point where like Risty and I load in and I could be like bam, wow. But it'd be cool if you could customize what people see, so like they could see my league
said that
status.
before.
Yeah, like they can see the league status. They can see how many, and I get to pick what they see. I can show how many games I've played, how many games I've won, what other common gods I play, or whatever. I don't know. It'd be cool though if you could customize that to add a little bit more information to your card to make it have a little bit more sense of ownership within the game. Because right now, like everybody plays, it's all the same gods. There's no customization except for some of the skins, and mostly everybody has all the same skins, so that you have no individualism within the game.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll see what the acolytes they're going to put up. So there's going to be down to the point where which leagues we get in. So once we start getting up to like diamond and platinum and all that stuff, we'll be like, yeah, I'm in gold league. You bronzer. Yeah. I cannot wait. It's like, what is it, 6 days now till I can get out of bronze league. I hate it because
you're like counting down the days.
Well, it's fair enough. Like even in silver, you're still going to get bronze because it took. I didn't realize this, but obviously it'll take the top people from bronze, and if there's not enough silver people, they'll put you in it just to play it. Which, to be honest, should be a good sign to people that obviously you're quite good. Okay, fair enough. They're in silver at the minute, but you're in bronze. Shut up, Valkyrie. Sorry, somebody. But they'll still go back to bronze league. I tell you what,
I didn't know that Valkyrie still played Smite, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. No, it's funny. It's funny. But no, some people are like, go back to bronze league, or he's bronze leaguers, and it's like, okay, well, we earned our ELO to get up here, so shut up. Do you know what? I completely lost my train of thought, so I'll leave it there. But
go ahead.
No, just go over it.
I was going to say, moving on from here, an item, pretty significant change, Fist of Gods, which the cooldown increased from 60 to 90 seconds, and and they also have no longer grants the 10% instant kill on Fire Giant and Gold Fury that the Hand of Gods does. I can understand the 10% instant kill being removed. It kind of pulls away from the value of Hand of Gods versus Fist of Gods. But the timer change from 60 to 90 seconds, that's kind of rough. Because like I use Fist of Gods all the time on tanks in order to help add a second layer of CC available. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're taking that from 60 to 90 seconds, that's a pretty, that's a lot of time that over the course of the entire game, the amount of time that you can actually use your Fist of the Gods, Yeah,
well, I suppose they kind of thought, because with the way the meta is at the minute, there's always like 3 hogs on a team. You've got your solo laner, your jungler, and your tank. Yep. So you've generally always got 2 Fists of Gods on a team. So the fact that there's like all these stuns coming out, sometimes it gets a little stupid. But also the fact that I think what they were trying to do as well, maybe slow up people going up to Fist of the Gods. Because what I kind of noticed was, the first thing that there's no reason for me to get level 2 as a jungler, really, because... Hang on, I need to check that. I'm going to go back in the game and check that, because I bet level 2 still has the 10% kill.
Yeah.
Which I'm just going to check. But the 60 seconds fine, because most of the time you use it as a jungle anyway. So you're using it 60-second cooldown on the jungle. So if I go up to rank 3 early on, I'm then slowing up my jungle. Kind of. Fair enough, I get a stun, but I'm 30 seconds behind on a Hulk, which I used to time my Hulk out quite well for the mid camps. Fair enough, it could work out. You could use that to be lazy, actually, on the mid camps, thinking about it, right? So if you go do the mid camp, hog it, you know pretty much at the time your hog runs out, there's another 10 seconds to go for you to actually get back to the mid camp. That's an idiot guide proof for you there. You can check that one out. So there's that. But I used to use it for just hogging all the time and everything like that. Now I'll have to check out the stun. Now, if we just look at hog, if you stay at level 2 hog, you still keep your 60 seconds and the 10% kill on the fire giant. So now going up to the fit stun.
Yeah. So it's kind of that investment now to get that stun available.
Yeah. It's a bit more. Well, I suppose it makes your tank need to be there a lot more. And obviously now, in a lot of games, sometimes the tank gets killed or you're in Bronze League, the tank's not there. You need your fist to kind of secure the fire giant. Well, now it's like, what are we going to do? Actually, that would explain a few things where a lot of hogs were going out and people not getting... Why the fire giant was still getting killed down. It was like...
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that would make the explanation for that one for me. But no. Yeah, I can see... Yeah, they want to give it a go. I can see it. So, fair enough, the hog was a bit... Fist of Gods might be a bit strong, especially if comboed with a few good things.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to the god section, and I'll let Risty take the first god, or first few gods, but we'll jump into a Muzen, which we just discussed as previous change. Now we have another one.
So yeah, they nerfed the crap out of him before. Okay, so they absolutely destroyed him. Now they nerfed him again. So they got 2 nerfs in 2 patches. How screwed over do you want to be? So they've realized, oh crap, we got the wrong buff, we got the wrong thing. So instead of putting the other stuff back, they're now nerfing bees. So bees now has the damage has been reduced from 10 per tick to 5 per tick. Now, doesn't that mean that if you buy Vanguard, that won't actually touch you at all? So let me just double check. So all damage reduced by 5. So if you've got Vanguard now, bees does not affect you at all. So that oh, they got a Muzen cub. Even you could even then get the dual lane AD to then buy Vanguard, and then you'd be like, well,
yeah. And you see some people in the past do that with like they'll start out with like a tanky item like that. You know what I mean? Just as like a quick strat in order for a little bit more lane survivability. So yeah, Muzen got quite the nerf this patch as well.
Yeah, so someone in chat said 5 is nothing. It does 3 with Vanguard. So okay.
So there is still. Yep, it looks like it does. Yeah, it does stack then. Okay.
Reduce physical power scaling as well from bees, so 15% down to 5, and bees cannot spread from minions to gods. Right, you've nerfed the shit out of the damage. At least let it go to the gods. Yeah. Okay?
Yep.
Either stop it spreading to the gods from minions, or nerf the damage. Don't do both. You're taking a piss. It's destroying it. Now, the hive, which is like main little bit that you had to stick around and had to keep a lot down. They increased the mana cost and everything in the last patch. Now, reduced the number that you can deploy from 8 to 4. The cooldown is now from 8 to 16. Okay? That thing can get killed in one shot.
Yeah. Well, I do not want to... It seems like they're trying to scramble to balance him when they just need to take a step back, bring him back to the way he was when he was deployed, but make the changes to the bees. You know what I mean? Like... Oh. I feel like that's what they need to do. Just bring him back to the way he was when he was brought out, but just make the nerf then to the bees, not now after they've completely trashed everything else on him.
Yeah, they've ruined him. I honestly, with all these changes, I know I said I haven't played him before. Yeah. I would not touch him.
Oh yeah.
there is no reason to touch him now. Why bother? Okay, I can't. If my hive, I'm throwing hives down in lane. If they push up the lane and let's get a clear wave, they take out 2 hives. That's what's that? That's 32 seconds of cooldowns gone. Then if I put some in the jungles, they're gone. It's just like, Amazon Cub is a tier lower than useless tier. Yeah, pretty much. That's what someone was saying.
Somebody in chat said they think that the hive should act as wards. That would be a kind of cool idea, because they have gone ahead and limited them how many you get.
Yeah.
How many hives you can put out, and wards are limited. Wards are limited to 3 a game, where the hives are limited to 4. So I can see it's okay. It's balanced. It's an advantage. It's only 1. So I can see that.
I honestly actually expected that a little bit when they first come out. I went, oh, he's putting hives out. There's wards everywhere, but okay, they're not. I wouldn't be opposed to that, right? Because he still has to go out, put them out. It's 3 wards. It's basically like Artemis's traps, and you can see them, so you can at least kill them. And to be honest, they kind of act like wards anyway, because if you're paying attention, you can see the dots disappearing. Because if you run past a hive, 90% of the time, you're going to kill it, just for the sake of it, unless you're trying to be really, really sneaky.
The worst is when I see a teammate, if I'm doing like a pug or something like that, and I see a teammate walk by a hive and not touch it, and I'm like, what? What are you doing? Like, attack it.
Worst bit is when they drop a sentry ward, and there's a ward next to it, and don't kill it. It's like,
oh my gosh,
you're pinging the map. You put a ward down, at least kill the wards that it sees.
Yes. Yes.
Driving mad. We saw Arachnid, the stun increase from the cocoon from 1 second to 1.5 second, and the projectile width from 3 to 5 feet. Okay, so it stuns longer and easier to hit. Fair enough. It was a hard one to hit. Yeah. I fully admit Arachnid has a high skill cap. I tried Arachnid once, got destroyed. I just couldn't. No, I couldn't land nothing. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to make her more attractive as a player, and I think this is the way to go. I mean, I always have a ton of fun playing Arachnid, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if this makes her like super attractive to play, but it makes it a little bit easier to play.
It's a decent change. I can fully agree with someone in chat. Yeah, it's a small but decent change. It's a slight increase on the stun, nothing major, and then it makes it slightly easier to hit. You've still got to be in range, which after time as well is obviously the problem. But yeah, it's just a bit of that. We also see Erez bolster defenses got an increase as well. So like basically 10 across the board. So from 10, 15 to 20 to 25. So right the way up to like 40 protections. I think that changes as well by how much you've shackled. Oh, you at least have to shackle someone. I can't remember. I have to just double check that.
It might be.
It might be. I'm just going to have
a little... In the meantime, I'll take a look at Athena here. So, Defender of Olympus, they reduced the damage from low scaling 350 to higher scale 950 plus 100% of your magical power to 350 at low scale, 750 at the upper scale, but it's a 90% of your magical scaling. And there were changes across the middle segment of that scaling for that as well. Furthermore, reduced allied damage mitigation from 25% to 20%. I could definitely see that. Athena's really good. Athena's been really good, and I think she's in a really good spot still. I can see why this adjustment was requested, but Athena's a really good god to play, and very, very much her presence definitely owns a lane. So, yeah. So what'd you find out about
Erez? Jungle. Erez, it is down to how many enemies you have shackled. So it says here on like the tooltip, it just says Erez strengthens the defenses of himself and all his allies, granting protections and reduces crowd control durations. Full stop. For each shackled enemy, the protections are increased. So I don't know if it's like a static one and then it increases, because the tooltip doesn't kind of like, it's not very specific.
Sure.
But you definitely get increased stuff for shackling. So that was just kind of one thing I wanted to point out there. I want to try Athena jungle. I've still not tried it, because every time I've seen Athena jungle, it's like a rat in the jungle. Stay the hell away, because you can't kill her, and she does so much damage. So I feel I need to abuse this before they nerf it.
I had a teammate the other day try to do Athena jungle and failed horribly at it. So it made me rage and made me be like, not everybody can play all of these roles so appropriately. Like, just because you saw somebody else play Athena so good doesn't mean that you could play Athena as well that good. You know what I mean? Like, oh my goodness, drove me nuts. But
I know, I stay away. There's like the. Oh, go on. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Finish your statement.
Oh no, it was also you see like Shibalanke jungle. I have still yet to watch the VOD of how he does that, so I have no idea how he does that. Apparently, it's if they said they've gone, oh yeah, if you think about it, it's really obvious. I still can't figure it out. I need to watch it, so someone could tell me later on how to actually do it. But there's weird stuff like that. But I wouldn't dare go like that. Yeah, I'd try a few things first. It's just
We
very
also
it's very dodgy.
saw Bastet open wound, additional damage against wounded targets increased from 50% to 20%, which is it's so relevant though with the fact of like if you get swiped by if you have like open wound applied on you, like, or you get swiped or something like that, like the dot damage is so good on her. You know what I mean? It's so good. So I know you're always kind of meh about Bastet.
No, I don't mind the open wound
I think
so much.
Bastet's
It's all right.
I think Bastet's really good. I just feel that she has a unique like skill curve and play curve with her. Because every Bastet I go against, the very like small amount of people that do play her, they're very, very good with Bastet, especially in like a conquest type of setup. We saw some changes. Go ahead.
It's all about like presence and how you chain your combos and how to actually do it before. Because she's great at counter jungling. Oh my god! I every game I will always get their harpies guaranteed. I'll jump through at 9 seconds, hit, hog, back, gone. Thanks for the steal. See you later. And then with my hogs, I put some wards in the enemy jungle so I can see when they're at the buffs. Wait for them to go in, do some damage, jump over, steal the buff, and back again. It's the only god you can do that with. It's great. But yeah, I do love Bastet. Just cats at the start. If you've got no one with a jump or anything like that, it's literally fire, forget, free kill.
Oh, it is. It really is. Jump in, cats, jump out, done.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially when you're against the Anubis. Peace.
Yeah, we also saw Chunga getting some changes here, and we were reading about in the, I guess in the spoils here, Chunga's going to be getting some more nerfs coming up in the next patch. But in this patch, we saw her get here her Moonlit Waltz. The invasion now occurs 0.1 seconds earlier to better match animation, and now also the Moonflower Dance now also deals 50, 80, 110, 140, and 170, plus 30% of magical damage to all enemies within range. So they gave her damage available with her Moonlit Flower, or Moonlit Flower Dance. Wow, not Moonlit. Moonflower. I swear I can talk today.
So, hang on, she can do 2 sets of damage.
Yes.
That's why I've been getting blown up by her.
Yes. That's why she's so good recently.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on?
Now, so they made the change there. See, they put the bonus healing to Chunga for healing teammates has been removed. And this is going to take me back to the conversation that people will probably hear all the time on the Smite update. I'm tired of Hi-Rez giving gods these hybrid type of style build, like setups with their kit. Chunga is a support god. Stop giving supports the ability to damage. Their role is to support, not to do damage, and also be amazing at supporting as well. They do it with They did it with Aphrodite, they're doing it with Chunga, they're doing it with Hell. It's just like, come on.
But they've already given us so much with that low cooldown moonlit crescent moon dance, the one. Yeah. It's like a 4 or 5 second cooldown.
I know.
Right? If you're going to give her more damage, put it there. At least we know what's going on. So every time she's healing now, she's hurting me. So it's even worse than Hell because she doesn't have to stance swap. She doesn't have to pick between actually healing and doing damage. She can do both. Which I feel is a bit, that's a bit much, yeah. Right. Hi-Rez is now taking the piss. That's where I've kind of gone with that one. So that now I understand what was going on when I got abused today. I was at a Naja, walked in and went, why am I taking so much damage? But now I understand.
Yeah. Okay. And the last one I'll take for this one real quick here is Chronos Accelerate. Increase the cooldown from 15 seconds to 17 seconds, which I see completely necessary, and decrease the attack speed bonus. 20 at the low is now 15, and 40 at the high is now 35. I can see this, though, because if you guys didn't take a look at the competitive scene, Chronos was banned every game because no one knew what to do with him.
Chronos is still banned every game, even after the nerf. So that kind of tells you what's going on. Even in games now, Chronos still hurts. Chronos is still always the focus. If you ever see a Chronos, it's like him and Freya. I don't know what it is with these magical auto attack gods, basic attack gods. They hurt so much more than physical because of all their extra stuff, right?
Yes.
Freya with a pulse, the slow, stupid, and then this because. Yeah, okay, right. He runs fast. Basically, he's got a free Fatalis and attack speed buff well, basically a free fatalis while he's chasing you down. So, yeah, that's a bit much. Cupid's Heart Bomb has now been reduced in cooldown. So cooldown has been reduced from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. It's giving him a little bit more kind of poke there, just kind of fry it as much as he can, as long as he's still got the mana for it. Freya's ultimate, they give her a slight nerf actually. They reduced the magical scaling from 45 to 35%. Freya's ultimate isn't the problem. Pulse is the problem.
I agree. I completely agree. I mean, Freya's ultimate is good, but it's not too good. You know what I mean?
No. I think, do you know what they need to do? Remove slow from Pulse. You can leave the damage, but I do not want to be I do not want to be hit by it and then go, I can't move away while she's running to you.
Now I'm getting pulsed again. Oh wait, I can't get out again. I'm getting pulsed again. Oh wait, I'm dead because I took 3 hits of pulse.
Yeah, pretty much. It does either do one thing, rip my face off or slow me down. That's pretty much it. So I feel that change is completely irrelevant. They didn't need to do that. They need to sort something else out. Fuck off, basically. I'm just, I'm going on one today. Ground targets for this ability should now highlight eligible targets. So I'm guessing when you actually get it on a target, it's going to glow a little bit.
Yeah, it'll glow the target.
I haven't actually seen it, but Vulcan's one looked kind of cool, actually. The ground targets are slightly red. They were quite cool. You'll definitely see them on the map. They've changed.
Okay.
Yeah. Mercury Sonic Boom reduced the physical damage scaling from 120 to 100%. So that's his ultimate.
Do you think his Sonic Boom was the problem? Like his ultimate?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. I knew it.
There's nothing. There was nothing wrong with his ultimate. His problem was the fact that he used to punch your face in. His ultimate was always used to get there. Or to just, I would always use it to get there or disorientate. It was never really for like the killing blow because you could never judge how much damage it would do. Yeah, it was never really for damage, so it was just like But it's like his problem was his attack. His basic attacks did too much damage. Maybe if they kind of dropped the scaling down a tiny bit, we could kind of go, but at the minute you can't. If he free hits, you're dead. If you're an assassin.
They can. What they should kind of look at is his default attack speed, lowering that because of how much his attack speed is amazing and scales so well with items, and as he levels, if they went ahead and nerfed the crap out of that, his baseline attack speed, I think it might help out a little bit because it's the attack speed. It's the attack speed that goes ahead and combos with his direct physical damage that makes him so good.
Oh yeah, it's just, it's one of the ones where you want to go up behind the buff people's up behind the buff people and just smack them around the back of the head. What are you thinking? Do it properly. It's like get your schoolwork in at school. No, take that back. Wrong. Do it again.
Yeah.
So that's another change there that is completely irrelevant. Odin's Shout. This ability now grants Odin an additional protections, actually. Additional 5 to 25 physical power passively. So yeah, okay. So he gets a bit more DPS out of that one. I can kind of go with that one.
So it doesn't only give speed. Now it actually gives a physical power buff as well.
Passively as well, which I kind of like the passively one sometimes. It's like, okay, I'll give you that one. The duration of the attack speed buff has been reduced, though, from 7 to 5. So he hits a little bit harder, but they've reduced how long you can attack speed. I can kind of go with that one. That's not too bad with that one. Yeah, it can be all right. Vamana, the Colossal Fury, which is his ultimate. The health regen while in giant form has been increased from 3% per second to 5% per second.
Did you think Vamana needed that though? Did you think that he did or no? I mean, I thought Vamana was pretty good to be honest.
They kind of had nerfed the crap out of his ultimate, where you kind of he got big baby. It was more like the DPS that he healed, so you'd kind of get away. You could kind of nuke him down, but also it was quite hard to do it. So Vamana, pretty tanky. I can kind of understand it. We'll have to see because Vamana's one of them ones that you change ever so slightly. He then goes from no one sees him to, oh my god, where has this fat baby come from?
Well, remember when Vamana used to be able to build just straight damage and would be the most amazing bruiser in the world because you couldn't kill Vamana, but Vamana would melt your face? That was when it was scary.
I know, it's great. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes off. I think we did see a Vermana actually in the EU scene this week, so that'll be.
Okay.
So I didn't actually see it; I just heard about it.
Okay.
The HUD now properly reflects what can and cannot be used during this ability. So I can actually use some abilities during the ultimate. I did not know that. I thought they all switched off pretty much.
Yeah.
Readjust his him visually being stuck in big form. Hopefully fixed now. Because you remember that walking around as the giant baby the whole time.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I think it'd be great.
Zeus nerf. A8. Probably not enough, but
they need another one though. He's so good.
I know, he's still strong. Detonate charge, reduce the magical damage scaling from 25% to 20%. So it's only a slight little change, maybe to see what's going on. And the movement speed bonus from his Aegis shield has been changed from a static 25% to a more gradual one.
Yep.
But it goes from 10% to 30% late game. I still think they should have left it at max 25. Yeah. There's no reason to give him an extra 5%. So now late game, when he gets there, he can run a little bit faster. So, yeah. Fair enough. Okay, at the start, I think basically what this is to... Well, you have a Zeus in the game. Shut him down early before he gets that far. So that's pretty much what it is. He's not going to be able to just hit the shield and run away from you anymore. The shield is always a bit of a problem anyway, that it gives you charges. So
yes. Well, that's the thing. Like, I haven't been seeing as much of Zeus in like Conquest, but I've been seeing a ton of Zeus in 3v3, which is a lot what I play now, just with casting a lot of 3v3 now. And Zeus is so good in 3v3. Like, if you guys have not tried him, please do, because in 3v3 he dominates so well.
Yeah, he's a pretty high ban in League as well.
Yep.
Majority of the time he's banned out.
All right, and I'll go ahead and finish off our last one here, and that is Jean Kui, the Demon Bag, which we're finally seeing another nerf to that. Bonus protection granted for each captured demon has been reduced from 3 to 2, so a small adjustment there. When Jean Kui came out, I know I could rage about how strong he was, how much damage he could do, but how he was so hard to kill. And this looks like it's stacking on top of that argument and making him doesn't gain as much strength for the protection from that. And then finally, Recall Demons. This ability no longer heals allied players, which kind of gets me, because if you're trying to build a support type of style god, you think you would keep Recall Demons in there, though. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even think the heal was too much of a problem. I can understand they've changed it a bit, but I don't know what I'd like to change about him, actually. He's killable now. I like the fact I can kill him. It's always great. Maybe what they could do is, after a little while, the actual spirits would leave you alone. Because, to be honest, you can get out of his radius for quite a far distance, and then they still catch you. And it's like... But I was out of that for ages. What's going on? That's kind of annoying.
Almost like a diminishing return type of style. Is that what you're talking about, or no?
No, I'd rather him just disappear and leave me alone and full stop. But that's just because I'm always on the receiving end of it.
Sure.
But he's still got the damage, but you can still kill him. Even in the solo lane, even as Loki, I was still putting some good damage out on him, which is quite surprising, because normally it's just like, oh, John Quay's in the lane. I'm just going to throw out decoy and stay back in my tower. That's pretty much how that goes. So, no, that was good to actually see.
And finally, guys, that goes ahead and rounds out our patch note review. We kind of piled in 2 weeks there, so do apologize. That was a little longer than usual. We'll be bringing you guys the next patch notes coming up here next week as they are released. But we have a little kind of section at the end of our show here on kind of a god review. And we do 3 gods a week, and this week we're on, funny enough, Bastet, Chunga, and Kronos. We did kind of comment on Bastet, Chunga, and Kronos all together, actually, as we went through and kind of discussed them. Bastet, to me, is definitely in a state where she isn't played very often, but, she's very potent, and you have to watch her scaling. I feel like Bastet, if you let loose too well, can go ahead and completely melt a team, which is quite interesting. For Chunga, for me, I'm very happy to hear that there are some Chunga nerfs coming out, as Chunga definitely needs them, just with how strong she's been recently, and just as we talked about there with the damage availability. And then finally, Kronos. I just feel like Kronos isn't in a really good spot, and I'd like to see him played more, but most people ban him. What are your thoughts on those 3 gods?
Bastet, yeah, Bastet. I'm happy where she is. Actually, she's quite comfortable. She can like destroy you if left to her own devices, but she can still be shut down quite well. It's not too bad. Chunga, I feel maybe the damage added to her free was maybe a bit much. I feel that a heal and a damage in the same ability can be annoying. Well, I'd say that can be annoying, but there's a lot of people that do that actually. But it's just, I don't know. She does a lot of damage for what she does, but there's Hell does as well. But Hell has to choose. Hell does more damage, but she has to choose if she does DPS and stuff. So it's a weird one. I've got to really see how it kind of goes. I'm a bit kind of weird how they're going with it. Kronos is kind of okay. He can be shut down. You can kind of kill him out, and everything like that. So it's not too bad. Just the nerfs are fine. I feel he's kind of alright. When they fixed the bug that he had, which they should have pulled him out of league, pain in the ass. But yeah, once they fixed that, it's not too bad. He's still a ban because he can still get out of control. I think people are just banning him because they're scared of him because of his rewind, which it's okay. He has a lot of the stop time all the time. It kind of messes you up as well. But no, I feel they're kind of alright. There's a few new tweaks like Chunga probably. The damage could. I don't know because I still shut down Chungas pretty much. They're not that bad. Okay, I'm okay with them at the minute. I'd like to see like a little nerf probably on Chunga now.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're alright. That's about it actually.
Alrighty, well guys, that goes ahead and pretty much rounds out our show for this week. Before we go ahead and head out though, excuse me, it's still getting over a cold here. I've got a request that you guys go ahead and if you guys want to see previous VODs of the show, or if you guys only caught half the show or didn't get the whole show, I'll go ahead and put a link in chat. It is youtube.com/TheSmiteUpdate. That is the YouTube channel for our show. We have all 30 episodes over there. 31 will be up there tomorrow of the video version. So you can check out previous episodes. And there's some other great community Smite content over there as well. Also, guys, asking you guys to go out and give us some more reviews. We want more reviews. So go out to iTunes. Here is the iTunes link for NA. And I have a link for Great Britain as well in there. Go over there and leave us a review on iTunes. Would really, really appreciate it. You may have to be logged into your iTunes account before you give a review. Logged in like into your iTunes on your computer, but definitely please go check it out. We would love more reviews. Going strong right now on episode 31, so things are looking good. Before we go ahead and head out, we want to go ahead and do a 200 gem code giveaway. So let me go ahead and get that situated.
I've also noticed as well, 2 days ago, a post was put up about like the esports end of 2013, the regional finals and tournament points will be reset.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like
yeah,
basically the competitive scene. So that's getting reset at the end of the year, the final week. It will be regionally based, 4 teams in each region. So I guess that's so they're going to do a little tournament and then reset all the points for the next year. So
yeah,
that'd be cool.
That'll be coming up here in the next few weeks. For the 200 gem code, guys, go ahead and post in chat. The keyword is 200 gems. 200 gems.
I love this.
Is the keyword? What do you love that? What's that?
It's like the second top post. It's got 29 points for what it is. In before SK1's about this for some reason. It's got 29 upvotes. I'll put the link out.
Okay, it's on Reddit. Okay, I was wondering what you're talking about. In the
there
meantime, oh, perfect. There we go. In the meantime, Risty, you want to let people know where they can find you when you're not on here?
You can find me at youtube.com, Twitter, not really at Twitch anymore. It's Risty UK everything. So youtube.com/Risty UK and Twitter at Risty UK. So there we go. Simple, easy does.
Good deal. For me, guys, you can, if you're checking me out on the live Twitch stream, twitch.tv, as you said, /OctanePro, SCII. If you're checking me out on Twitter, it's the same thing. And YouTube, same thing as well. So make sure you guys do go ahead and check that out. Or if you want to check out just everything I'm putting out there right now, go over to OctaneProGaming.com. You can check it out there as well if you are interested. Everything's over there at OctaneProGaming.com. Let me go ahead and roll the dice here. And congratulations to Captain Miller in chat. who has gone ahead and won himself 200 gems. I will go ahead and send this to you, sir. And outside of that, I think that's a show, Risty.
Hey.
Another wonderful show under the belt. Another wonderful show under the
I
belt.
know. We're racking up these numbers there, aren't we?
I know.
31.
Looking good.
Well,
Looking
when did I get on? I got on about, it must have been in double figures. So.
Yeah, I think you were on around maybe like 15, maybe somewhere. I would say right around like halfway point. I'd have to go back and take a look. But anyways, folks, I appreciate you guys coming out to hang out with us tonight. Please make sure you go check out the audio versions and upvote us and give us some 5-star reviews on iTunes. Also, check out the YouTube version as I talked about. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.